They thought it would be an ordinary winter hike, but halfway up the mountain, something appeared that shouldn't exist. A thin column of smoke rising straight out of solid rock. No cabins, no trails, no signs of life, just a chimney in the middle of a cliff. Curiosity pulled them closer, but what they found challenged everything they believed about this frozen wilderness. But before we start, can we get 1,000 likes for this video? Smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming stories. The smoke did not belong to the mountain. Against the blue winter sky, it appeared as a thin line, rising and drifting calmly, a curious anomaly amidst the untouched landscape. Leif, leading the group, noticed it first. His eyes were trained to read the land, to observe the unspoken truths of a winter day. This particular day in Norway was unusually sunny and quiet, perfect for their experienced, cautious group. Anna, with her camera, walked behind Leif, followed by the quiet Joel and Mari and Tom, who traded jokes. Greta, carrying avalanche gear, trailed them. The snow crunched crisply under their spikes, and the fjords below reflected the sky like glass. Leif raised a hand, and they stopped, the smoke now obvious, rising patiently from the cliff. Greta noted it wasn't a rescue beacon, and Mari confirmed no storm was coming. Tom, always excited, wondered if anyone had seen something like it before. Leif traced the smoke to its source, feeling a twinge of unease. Anna suggested it might be a chimney, and they pondered who would build one into a cliff. Tom joked about a troll with a fireplace. Leif, cautious yet curious, decided they should investigate. Anna agreed, capturing the scene with her camera. With a sense of cautious curiosity urging him to look, Leif pointed out a marked scramble up to the wall, and they moved toward it. The trail led them to a tired ridge with shallow, wind-carved snow. They followed red marks on stones, guiding them safely. As they climbed, the world seemed to open up. The fjord stretched farther, and the horizon looked honest in the winter light. Leif moved with practiced ease, recalling a childhood memory of his father teaching him to tend a fire. They paused often, enjoying the view and the climb. The smoke became more real with each step, rising from a place where no cabin could sit. Anna speculated it might be an old mine, and the group discussed the possibilities. They reached the cliff wall, noticing the chimney was built in, not an accident. Leif's pulse quickened with a feeling adjacent to fear, realizing the story was unfamiliar. The marked scramble ended at a ledge with a cairn, a subtle marker from the mountain. They moved toward the wall, where the wind dropped, creating a pocket of warmth. The rock was darker and held heat, a strange sensation in winter. The smoke smelled like clean wood, reminiscent of kitchens and cabins, conjuring an image of a hand on a mug. Leif observed a chimney, well constructed with brick and stone, and a small, simple door beneath it. The door was unassuming yet carefully crafted, with iron hardware and a carved frame that echoed old patterns. A small iron bell hung on a leather strap, adding to the welcoming feel. Mari laughed softly, appreciating the cleverness and patience of the maker. Tom jokingly suggested knocking, but his eyes held a serious question for Leif. Leif approached the door, listening for any signs of life. He heard faint sounds, just the movement of warm air. Anna rang the bell, producing a friendly sound. Leif found the latch unlocked, and as he opened the door, warmth greeted them. Inside, the light was soft and honest, like the winter sky. The air smelled of spruce, wool, and something cooking with cream and fish. They stood on a stone threshold, with hooks for coats and a bench for boots. Across from them, an open door led to a hall with windows cut into the rock, offering views of the valley and fjord. A wooden sign above the door read Felkiston. Anna whispered, "The mountain coast," trying the word on her tongue. A bell on a stone counter had a note, "Ring for welcome." Tom looked at Leif, silently asking if they should. Leif shrugged, preferring to wait. Greta solved the dilemma by tapping the bell. Footsteps approached, and a woman appeared, welcoming them warmly. She switched to English, inviting them in and asking them to close the door to keep the heat in. Mari explained they saw the smoke, and the woman, Elise, acknowledged that they were meant to be seen quietly. They introduced themselves, and Elise offered coffee, which they gladly accepted. Elise led them down a hall with smooth stone floors and walls of rock and wood. They passed rooms with open doors, seeing beds with wool blankets, shelves of books, and hand-woven rugs. The windows offered views of the fjord and sky. A lounge with a fireplace was part of the smoke system they had seen outside. Elise brought them to a small eating room with coffee and cardamom roll. She joked about not charging for stumbling upon them, but invited them to take their time. Grateful, they sat with warm mugs in hand. Leif felt the warmth from the stone, appreciating the long-burning fire. Tom asked about the place, and Elise explained it was Fjellkiston, a small hotel and a tribute to the partnership between people and the land. Anna remarked on the construction into the mountain, and Elise explained they didn't cut more than needed, finding their place within the rock's natural shape. Joel inquired about the chimney, and Elise clarified it was a system of chimneys using wood heat, with the rock acting as a heat battery, efficient and clean. Mari questioned the absence of modern systems like electricity, to which Elise responded that their approach was both modern and traditional, emphasizing a small ecological footprint and the importance of feeling the natural element. Greta inquired about the number of visitors, and Elise explained that they appear like mushrooms to those who know where to look. Anna asked if they could return as guests, and Elise affirmed they could, or they could simply be hikers enjoying the warmth and food before moving on. Leif appreciated the choice and freedom given to them, feeling the place's generosity. He enjoyed a roll and pondered the chimney they saw from the valley, asking who conceived the idea of building there. Elise explained it was a conversation with nature and history, with the people who lived in harmony with the environment. Tom appreciated this connection with the sky. The group lingered a bit longer, asking questions about the place's history and logistics. Elise informed them there was no road, emphasizing their commitment to using existing resources. Leif mentioned they were headed to the ridge, and Elise advised them on the path, inviting them to stop by for fish soup on their way back. As they left, the cold air greeted them sharply. They followed the ledge back to the marked path, moving in sync without words. Anna took quick photos, capturing the liveliness of the moment. They heard laughter echoing from a rocky balcony, spotting two figures pointing at something in the valley. Nearby, snowmobiles waited silently. Tom suggested the word serendipity, but Mari preferred partnership. They continued their ascent, reaching a ridge where the fjord spread out beneath them. The cliff hotel blended into the rock, with the chimney standing out like a solitary line on a white canvas. At the ridge, they paused in the silence, eating simple food while taking turns with Anna's camera. The photos, though plain, were full of the place's essence. Leif stood apart, reflecting on the feeling that had been with him since they saw the smoke. It was relief, the realization that people could choose to be small in a vast place, making room rather than taking it. He thought of his father and the wisdom of belonging by asking how to fit in rather than imposing answers. Leif noticed a small door with a carving in the stone, smiling at the thought that someone had asked how to belong. Anna joined him, and he shared his realization that they hadn't found a secret but neighbors. They began their descent, trusting different muscles and seeing the world from a new perspective. Nearing the ledge, the air promised warmth, with scents of smoke, dill, and baked dough. Tom joked about writing a review before staying, to which Mari teased him about reviewing everything. Tom playfully rated the cliff, appreciating its essence. Upon reaching the door, Leif rang the bell, its sound now part of the rock. Elise appeared, smiling as if she anticipated their return. She was engaged in work that required both focus and openness to interruptions, embodying the best kind of work. Her smile suggested she knew how long they'd be gone, a trait of those familiar with nature's timing. Leif softly requested soup, which Elise assured was never a trouble. After washing their hands in a sink carved into the rock wall, they sat down in the same room, now altered by the shifting light. The soup was perfect, embodying warmth and flavor, complemented by bread dipped in it, an act as old as time. Elise joined them with a map, explaining their small intentional existence. They built into the rock to minimize impact, using natural heating and cooling. Visible chimneys were a choice for honesty, signaling warmth. Greta agreed, calling it a way of being. Elise explained they resisted modern designs like glass walls to maintain the distinction between inside and outside, valuing the appreciation of both. Anna appreciated the subtle sounds of life within the rock walls. Elise shared a thought about buildings teaching manners subtly. They insisted on paying for the soup, feeling it was a thank you for the warmth and the idea, not a transaction. As they prepared to leave, Elise invited them to return or simply remember them as a small secret. Tom promised to share the secret, but Elise was confident the rock would decide its fate. Outside, the air was familiar, and the wind whispered along the ridge. The chimney smoke rode against the evening sky as they followed a solid path, discussing future plans and the condition of the old path by the frozen creek. They walked in companionable silence, reflecting on the experience. Leif glanced back, noting the chimney's faintness, realizing some places fill you rather than the other way around. This thought was a small weight to keep him grounded. Reaching a wider trail, they noticed the changing colors of the snow and the quieting squeak underfoot as the cold settled. Passing other hikers, they exchanged simple words, Mari humorously noting the soup was better than reindeer. At the last rise, the fjord opened to a golden light, a moment they absorbed without cameras, feeling it was a closing curtain. Tom suggested they return, and Anna preferred choosing over accidents. Greta wanted to experience it in a store. Leif, feeling a deep connection, promised they'd return to learn more of the story. They walked to their car, the chimney, now a thought, and drove away. The hotel lingered in their minds, quietly present. At their rented cabin, Leif stood outside while the others discussed dinner. The world was different now, the ice near the shore making soft sound. He smelled wood smoke from their stove and a neighbor's, feeling he could distinguish warmth by the smoke's movement. Much later, after food, laughter, and the satisfying fatigue from a day's work in winter, they gathered around a small fire, discussing future visits. Tom wanted to return in spring when snow melted into streams and the water sank. Mari preferred late winter when mornings were brave with light and Night still invited long stories. He thought he would write a note to himself later, perhaps a simple line to avoid lying. Remember that the mountain is not yours, but it is willing to share. Remember the chimney. Remember to be small. Outside in the dark, the fjord held a moon from someone else's story. The hotel wasn't visible from their location, which felt appropriate. The mountain didn't need to show off. It would remain with a door in its side for those who sought it and a chimney riding a thin line into the sky. The day began with smoke that didn't belong to the mountain and ended with the truth that perhaps it did, not through ownership, but by proving a point. People and places can coexist. Warmth can be built within something cold without breaking it. A home can be made without conflict. This lesson, discovered on a bright winter day, could be carried like warmth long after the smoke faded into the blue.